Welcome to the RewirED Youth Podcast. You're listening to episode 2, How Do Eating Disorders Affect the Brain in Adolescents? It's no surprise that eating disorders can seriously impact the brain, from disruptions in neurotransmitters to an overall shrinking of brain volume, including both gray and white matter. But what most people don't realize is how much worse these effects are in adolescents. Their brains are still growing and developing, making them far more vulnerable to long-term cognitive, emotional, and neurological damage. Disordered eating disrupts nutrient absorption, meaning that the brain doesn't get what it needs to function properly. The extent of the damage depends on the type of eating disorders, but all of them can have serious effects. A groundbreaking study by the Keck School of Medicine of USC revealed that individuals with anorexia have significant reduction in cortical thickness, subcortical volumes, and cortical surface area. These reductions are up to 4 times more severe than those seen in other mental illnesses. This implies a possible loss of brain cells or their connections, especially dangerous in adolescents. These structural changes affect areas responsible for impulse control, emotional regulation, and decision-making. They also lower the brain's neuroplasticity, making it harder to form new connections or recover after injury. On the other hand, in bulimia, the brain suffers differently, in which serotonin becomes dysregulated, increasing anxiety, depression, and disrupting satiety signals. Dopamine spikes during binge eating reinforce the behavior, making it feel addictive. Additionally, brain scans show reduced gray matter in the frontal lobe and anterior cingulate cortex, both crucial for self-control and emotional regulation. The insula, which interprets hunger, taste, and fullness, also malfunctions, misreading bodily signals and contributing to disordered hunger cues and body image. But what about binge eating disorder? Since malnutrition isn't always present, is it less harmful? Not necessarily. Neuroimaging studies from the National Institute of Health showed that individuals with binge eating disorder have increased activation in reward processing areas like the nucleus accumbens and ventral tegmental area when exposed to food cues. This dopamine-driven reward loop combined with reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex makes it harder to resist cravings. Just like bulimia, binge eating disorder is also linked to an altered insula and decreased gray matter in areas responsible for emotional regulation and self-control. So even if it might look very different from the outside, in fact all eating disorders are quite similar in the damage that they provide, especially in the brain. We will further dive into each of these individual eating disorders and their effects on the body in future episodes. But that's it for today, and thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe to stay updated about future episodes.